Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another venture in the sevens. This time it is the Olympic sevens for the women. We have just seen the men's competition come to a close last night, and this opener, Ireland versus Great Britain. Ireland, a side that weren't even a part of the Tokyo Olympics, but they are certainly here now. They made quite the statement throughout the regular season. Looking through at the starting lineup, it will be Stacey Flood, Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe. They've also got Parsons, Burns, Lucy Mulhall, Rock, Erin King, and Emily Lane there, the last lady in the starting side for Great Britain. It will be Lisa Thompson, Ellie Boatman, Lauren Torley, Emma Uren, who will be the captain for this side, Isla Norman Bell, Meg Jones, and also the speedster out wide, Jasmine Joyce. I mean, anytime we talk about pace on the Sevens circuit for the women, that lady's name comes to mind, as well as her battles with Michaela Blythe. Those are normally when it is very entertaining between Wales or Great Britain and New Zealand as well. But we are just about to be underway, ladies and gentlemen, for the first matchup. This one taking place. It's a nice afternoon game in France at this Stade de France for this match. My voice is still slightly recovering, so you will hear me, I guess, struggle a few times throughout the stream, but it will warm up as we get through the rest of the matches. But now we are ready to go for the start of this contest, the first of many for today, and it will be Ireland will be kicking off this one to get us underway for day one of the women's sevens at the Olympics. Dedication given the time in New Zealand, bro, says Gregory. Yeah, we are currently sitting 1:30 a.m. New Zealand time. We haven't really slept a whole heap since the last sevens competition, which was last night for the men. But Jasmine Joyce has to play halfback off the get-go. For GB, they are wearing the bright red kit. They'll be looking to make quite the statement here. Of course, there were no GB men on the Olympic Games for the men's side of the draw. That's a nice attack and run, 40 metres out from the line. Now Jasmine. In fact, it's going to be Meg Jones. Does move up to 40 metres out from the Irish line, but great work in the breakdown. And Stacey Flood manages to win the penalty for the Irish. Hi, Hamish says, Aniki, welcome in. Hope you are keeping well. We've also got the hi all, and Hamish says, Robert, welcome in. And Hamish, what's up, buddy? Can New Zealand take gold in any team favourites? I believe at the moment there are two clear favourites in the women's sevens, and that is New Zealand and Australia, because they have had quite the extensive rivalry throughout 2023-24 season. They've been going back and forth. There are a few dark horses in this competition, though, the likes of the Irish. They've done pretty well throughout the regular season. The French at home, we saw what it did for the men. First scrum of the day, and it looks like there's going to be a bit of a miscommunication. Okay, referee very sternly warning both front rows to get it right. And hi, says LFG, and great to see you covering the women too, says Ophelia. Hopefully I said that correctly. I do apologise if I have said it slightly wrong. Looks like Emily Lane trying to tell the referee what is happening in that scrum. But now, bounce past there, Mulhall, Rock. Now going across to the right-hand side here for Ireland. They are 40 metres from their own line. They have got plenty of pace of their own. I mentioned about Jasmine Joyce's pace, but Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe, she has got plenty of her own. Going to the left-hand side here for the Irish. Skip pass, looking like it could be on the cards to go out wide. But for now, Stacey Flood hanging on to the ball. Cutting on the inside. It will be Parsons. Flood has to play half. Ireland building quite nicely here, just putting phases together. That was almost a forward pass, although as we learned throughout the men's competition, forward passes just aren't called throughout this Olympic Games for some reason. Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe, another step, gets the offload. In fact, no, she doesn't. It's herself. She did a spin. The camera was going the wrong way, so it seemed like she had actually got rid of that ball, but she just continued running at the line. And that is going to be the first try of this contest, and it is for Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe, who manages to get it. And does even South Africa stand a chance? It's going to be tricky for them. They come in as massive underdogs up against the Australians in their first game, but as we know, you've just got to make it into that top 8. So points differential, if you can cut it down nicely and not have a big loss to the Australians, I think South Africa maybe do have a decent chance of making it through to the next stage, just with how competitive some of these groups will be amongst the top 2 sides, and then that third place is really up for grabs for a lot of these groups. I'm severely sleep deprived. Says Katzenell. I certainly know that feeling. And does South Africa even stand a chance to win a medal? It would be a mountain to climb for them. That is for sure. On lottery day, or a lot of daylight between Australia and New Zealand, and the rest, says Gregory. Yeah, although Ireland is slowly starting to close that gap, and that is a beautiful run for Great Britain. They have fired back instantly with a try of their own. It's going to be Isla Norman Bell who scores it between the posts. Will it be completed today or tomorrow? Neither. It will be the day after that it is completed. So this is day one. Then we got day two around the corner, which will be the third pool game, and then also the quarterfinals. And then alongside that, the next day it is the semi-finals and the finals. So it will be finished around Wednesday morning, New Zealand time. Yeah, nice inside ball. Finding Isla Norman Bell. It just didn't seem like Ireland were ever going to win that foot race, unfortunately, no matter how fast Megan Burns wanted to be. The legs just weren't quite keeping up with Norman Bell. We have there one of the top 6 teams, says Katzenell. So in the women's sevens, I would say top 6, you'd say New Zealand, Australia, Ireland. Then you'd probably go France, I would say. Oh, that's going to be, is it a deliberate knockdown? Yes, it is, and this is going to be a yellow card for Great Britain here. And score seems very delayed. Please try refresh, says Grant. Unfortunately, we've noticed this trend all throughout the year when we've covered the women's sevens. For some reason, they always start the clock about 3 minutes too late, and then it slowly catches up. And once we're at halftime, it's completely fine. But it just always seems to be the women's games that it happens for. Also in that top 6, I would say that either Canada or the USA maybe would put themselves in there. Maybe Canada. And then, I mean, Great Britain are probably up there somewhere as well in terms of close to that top 6. Helps the New Zealand and Australian squads get funding to stay together, where other countries don't get the funding, says Gregory Bissett. That is true. And I feel like that's the thing. Depending on the growth of the game of sevens, like this is the perfect competition to show off the sevens to a grander stage than just the regular viewers. You know, 69,000 in attendance for each of these contests. And also for the overall sevens of the Olympics, they're looking at around, I think it's going to be 500,000 people in the stands. So if that doesn't help grow the game, I don't know what would. And come on, the Irish girls, says Richard, and at the moment, GB are in position again as they move up to the 22 with Meg Jones. Game played in France, you live in New Zealand, and watching live in the USA. Says Kerman there, this time it's going to be the knock-on from GB, just couldn't quite regather. It was Ellie Boatman there who was just trying to get that ball from in that breakdown. Bouncing out the back and then just ended up with the little knock-on. I'm praying for the South Africans. And yeah, come on, the Irish girls, says Pat Dragon. I should mention South Africa are going to be in action just around the corner. They are taking on the Australians. That is the game that kicks off in 23 minutes' time. So not too far away from the first game for the South Africans. But Ireland in position 22 metres out from their try line here. Looking to bulldoze their way forward. Now, I have to mention the weather is beautiful today compared to what we saw for the last day of the men's sevens, which was only yesterday. So just shows how quickly the weather can change. In France, that's a loose ball. Picked up again by Ireland. I know that there were a few other events that did end up getting either delayed or postponed due to the weather. I know that there was supposed to be a New Zealand doubles tennis match. I think my mum was telling me that New Zealand were a part of. Now passing out wide, Parsons tries to put in the fend into the face of Ellie Boatman, who decides to push her towards the touchline, and almost they do have to release. She's wrestled out, so that will be the penalty going the way of the Irish. Norman Bell, soon as that knee was down, she was unable to push her over the touchline, but she still did, so the penalty did go against her. That's the wrong flag for Team GB. That's on the scoreboard, I'm just saying, says Richard there. Yeah, although it's an online scoreboard, so sadly I cannot change that. We have got there, good gosh, Australia for the first match. Says LFG, yeah, it's certainly going to be a big test for South Africa, but to be fair, the benefit that they've got is both sides are going to be coming in equally rusty. You know, they haven't had a sevens leg in about a month. All the ladies doing the hair up by the looks of it at the line-out time, getting it out of the eye so that they are able to effectively see that ball for the line-out. Nicely thrown into the middle to King. Across to the right-hand side. Ireland, we hear the halftime siren. They are still down by 2. But a great attacking position now to be able to possibly take that lead before the end of this first half, although Team GB get into the breakdown. That was very close, but Lisa Thompson to get that turnover. And tennis and golf are good to play, but terrible to watch, especially live. Says Katzenel. I have an interesting story about watching golf live. It was when I was a lot younger, but it was a pretty funny moment. I probably won't tell you that. Well, it's not that bad, but I could tell you at some stage. Why is the flag for GB wrong? Says Blue here. Yeah, I don't know. They, like, flash score at times, they're very good, but then other times they aren't the best. But I'm sure we're going to hear about it quite a bit. Because, like, the GB flag in the actual, like, at the Olympic Games has got the same flag as I have got here as well. That one's going to be passed out wide. It's a tack and run forward from Parsons. In fact, every flag that I'm seeing is the UK flag, by the looks of it. Like, the Olympics website for the Sevens has the UK. This one has the UK. The Olympics on the screen has the UK. Going back across to the left-hand side now, loose ball. They will go back for the penalty. We're already a minute and a half after the halftime siren sounded. It doesn't seem like Ireland are finished with their attack. They want one last try here. It's going to be wearing on the players. Luckily, they only have the 2 games today rather than the 3. Torley, the lady penalised. Looks like Ireland do want themselves a scrum here. They're sitting at about 26 or 27 degrees, though. I mean, I thought that was, or that is, the GB flag. Says Blue here. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I know that 2 people have said that it was the wrong flag, haven't they? Or was it just one who said about it? Might have just been the one, in fact. Now, scrum feed going in. Nicely taken. Off the back for Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe. She's already scored herself 1 today. Wouldn't have minded a second there. 2.5 minutes past the halftime siren. Looking for another gap. Stacey Flood gets her offload away. Skip pass out to Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe. And that's going to be another one. No, that's the UK flag. It's not the GB flag. Says Richard. Although, like I said, on the Olympics official, like, broadcast, they have got the GB flag as the UK one as well. So, like, and in fact, across every Olympic event, I believe they have actually got the UK flag that I have seen so far. So, yeah, if it's not the official one, then I guess that's unfortunate. But everywhere that you look for this Olympics, they have got that flag as Team GB. And Australia, last time I checked, was leading the Olympic gold medals. Could add more to it with the 7, says Katzenel. Yeah, I know that they go very well in the swimming early on, the Australians, which is normally what gives them that nice big bump up. I know that they were ahead of China the last time I checked for the medal tally. That one's gone over from Lucy Mulhull-Rock. And that is going to make it halftime now in this matchup. 12 points to 7. 12 to Ireland, says Bad Drake in there as well. But yeah, very good start to the match for the Irish as well as Great Britain. I feel like neither of these sides have really shown too much weakness throughout that first half. Could be a game that does go right down to the wire. Ireland did come in as slight favourites. Do you agree with comments yesterday that Dupont for France, currently the best rugby player in the world, or Justin Sevens play Hamish, says Kerman? I mean, no matter what you say about him, people somehow manage to get offended. I learnt that yesterday, the day before, and also the day before that. But, like, he is one of those players that if you don't have him in your top 5 in terms of the world of rugby today, like, you either just have a hatred for him for some strange reason, or, you know, maybe you're not rating him as highly as you should. Like, if you look at what he does, whether that's for Toulouse, like, if you even look at the club rugby side of things, playing for Toulouse in the top 14 in the Champions Cup, help them get themselves the victory. For France, he's a phenomenal talent. Unfortunately for him, he couldn't help lift that French side to the mountaintop. But then in the 7s, you know, it was 7-all going into that final half of rugby up against the Fijians, and he just changed the game. 2 tries, 1 try assist, including the try assist within 17 seconds. Like, as much as people like to dislike Antoine Dupont, he is a phenomenal player. And Dupont has been the best for a while now. Alexa's showing the same Union Jack. Says Robert there. Australia leading the medal tally. It is just initial stages. China and USA will top it. Says Coding. Yeah, although I guess it's still a big achievement for Australia. They normally do end up in the same boat, though, how they get that real nice early push and then sadly do slowly drop down. It won't carry France to win gold, says LFG. Yeah. And like I mentioned on that post-match review, what does that do now for France? Like, is he going to stick around? Oh, beautiful run from Jasmine Joy. She breaks through one tackle and she will score the try. Meg Jones be happy with that one, the veteran, but Jasmine Joyce with the pace for days to go through that gap. That's going to now make the score a lot closer in this game. We have got there Dupont, carry France. Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? But yeah, it will be interesting to see whether or not France, now that the Olympics is over, is Dupont going to say, I'm not playing sevens anymore for the next few years, or is he going to stick on the sevens circuit? Like, there are ways you could look at it and you could consider it as slightly rough. If you think about the fact that he may have just come in to get a gold and now he's going to ditch them and say pretty much good luck. But I'd like to think he'd still play a bit more sevens, but I just don't see a world where he would. And France just physically overwhelmed Fiji. Says Kerman, that's going to be nicely slapped back. Meg Jones, currently on the halfway line for Great Britain, who currently have a 2-point lead here over the Irish. Now attack and run, sells the dummy. Norman Bell couldn't quite get that next pass away. And for Great Britain to win their first match of this Olympics competition would be absolutely huge for their confidence. Bit of a low rough pass to Jasmine Joyce. She still manages to get a couple extra metres. 22 metres out from the line. Emma Uren, the captain, going across now to the right-hand side. It looks like they're running downhill at the moment, GB, because any time they get that ball, they seem to be making some very easy meters. A lot of pressure in the breakdown. That was going to be tackling a lady on the ground from Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe. Meg Jones back across. They still have Jasmine Joyce waiting for this ball on the outside. She's not going to be needed, though, as straight through the middle, the try's going to be coming for, I believe it was the captain, Uren, who does score it. And that is now going to extend their lead. We do see there, is that Abby Joyce? No, what was her name? Abby something. The Great British captain from not too long ago. I know it's Abby, but I can't think of what her other name was. Was it Abby Joyce? No, I don't think it was Joyce. I'm thinking of Jasmine, but Abby, it's Abby. I know that much. Can't think of the other half of the equation. Ireland need to fix their defense, these Gates. Now, unfortunately, they were just outpaced there as well. Soon as that gap opened up, it just seemed like Ireland were never going to be able to catch up. Abby Brown, that's the one. Thank you very much. Yep. Abby Brown in the stands. So I've got Jasmine Joyce on the mind at the moment, don't I, from that try she scored before. But 21 points to 12 currently, the lead for Great Britain. You talk about a great start to this competition. That is exactly what they have got here. Going to be not quite going the 10 for Great Britain, so now Ireland will get themselves the scrum. Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe, she's looking frustrated at the moment. I feel like this game definitely hasn't gone to plan. So they will take the quick tap on the halfway line with Emily Lane. Just taking her time. Referee tells her to hurry up. And Dupont has been the best 15s player for at least the last 2 years. Nice, beautiful step from Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe. Now Mulhall King, or Rock I should say, going across to the middle of the field. Be about 22 metres out here, Ireland. Stacey Flood, she has Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe with her. And that's why his story was interesting. I like Messi trying futsal, if only futsal was the Olympic sport, says Eric. Now, so they've been able to turn this one over. Great Britain looking for the offload though, and there was no player there. She's actually managed to pass it to herself off her offload for Jade Shackles. Now Uren getting forced sideways. Higgins riding up a little bit though, in terms of that tackle height. So the penalty will go against the Irish again. It looks like quite a few players are starting to feel that fatigue. She started off not too badly, but then as she was making that tackle, slowly kept on creeping up in height. Do let me know, ladies and gents, what are the sports or events in the Olympics that you have been keeping an eye on so far? I found myself watching a volleyball match between Germany and Japan the other day, and it was thrilling. They went down to the 5th set. How are Islanders losing now? It's a great question, but they're about to be losing by a lot more if they can't drag Sheckles down. It's like Jones has knocked the ball on, though. Yeah, I learned that Japan were number 2 ranked in the world for the volleyball, and then Germany managed to beat them in the 5th set, going to 15. Norman Bell. Like she's going to be one of the big keys for this Great Britain side. One of the smaller players on the field as well. Meg Jones just dropping the ball in the contact from Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe. 90 seconds remaining now and 9 points difference between these two sides. If Ireland want a chance of being able to win this game, they have to make sure. What's happening now? Looks like both front rows have just stood up here. Okay, referees pretty much said there is no issue whatsoever here at scrum time. You two sides need to actually scrummage. Brown Bear, roaring sound to the raw bear. Says Pedrag there. Now Mulhull Rock. Going off to Higgins. I watch archery and shooting, some sailing. Says Katzenell. I've noticed my mum's been watching a lot of the swimming and the rowing. Those seem to be her two go-to sports that we've had so far. That might be because there's been quite a few New Zealanders in them. That's a rushed bit of defence there from GB. Archery, judo, boxing, rowing and equestrian. Says Mr. Orlin. I think the best thing about when the Olympics is on is, like, if you don't like certain events or certain sports, there's always something else that you can flick to as well. Like, for instance, the judo, the boxing, and I think the rowing were all on, and the equestrian all on at the same time a little bit earlier on. So, like, if one of them's not quite doing it for you, you can easily switch. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to a few of the events later on in the Olympics. I know that the athletics always goes well. What channel is the game on? Can't find it. It is on Sky Sport 2 for us here in New Zealand. Handball and football, says Gus. And now that is going to be the full-time siren sounding. Ireland going to try one last attack, but that will be the knock-on. Team GB in possession. Meg Jones will kick it into touch, and that is the win for GB, ladies and gentlemen. 21 points to 12. That is a fantastic showing from this GB side, and they will be more than happy with the way that they have played in this matchup. But the next game that we are covering on the channel, ladies and gents, will be the matchup between Australia and South Africa. That one is also going to be a part of this group, and it opens up the door now for the possibility of, if South Africa can somehow get within 9, they would find themselves in 3rd in this group. We have got there badminton and swimming, horse riding, rowing and cycling. Says Pedrag there. And we have got there, yeah, those French and Netherlands women. In archery, we're hitting some good 10s. And we have got there as well USA on Peacock, says Robert. There as well. And basketball, team handball, big in continental Europe, volleyball, football. Also, I would love to watch some swimming, fencing, equestrian. Set in Versailles. I always say that word wrong, don't I? But yeah, like handball's one that we actually had to play back at school. And I always really enjoyed it, but we never got to play it for more than maybe half a period at school, 30 minutes, and then they'll be like, right, we'll play something else. But yeah, no, I was keen on a bit of handball back in my day. Nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We will be popping over to that next live stream, which we will be starting in only 2 minutes' time. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.